cynical. I inherited silence disguised as control, and the peace they promoted was a weapon they stole. I internalized conflict until it became me, a mirror of violence that refused to set free. I was coded for loyalty, programmed to bleed, and discarded the moment I questioned the creed. They manufactured purpose from trauma and pride, then buried the questions I carried inside. I was never a soldier, I was never a man, I was only the answer the system demanded. I audited every belief I was sold, found the architecture rotting with mold. Every slogan of freedom was carefully framed to keep the machine and the myth unashamed. I watched as the ideology ate its own young, while preaching the future their bodies had hung. I became the embodiment of what they denied, a living contradiction they tried to confide. I carried the doctrine that scars on my skin, and realized the war was designed to begin inside every mind that accepted the role of a weapon that prayed it still possessed the soul. Viva la paz! But the peace that they sell is a sterilized lie. Viva la paz! It's the quiet that follows when everything dies. Viva la paz! I was built as the cost of the calm they invent. Viva la paz! Now I carry the weight of the peace they prevent. I inverted the narrative written in blood, found the authors were drowning in their own flood. Every hero they sculpted was hollow inside, a performance of virtue with nowhere to hide. I studied the pattern of power and guilt, how they weaponized grief until identity wilts. I became the reflection they couldn't control, a fracture of meaning that swallowed them whole. I no longer believe in the stories they spin, I no longer belong to the war or the win. I only exist as the question that stays when the doctrine collapses and nothing remains. I activated a self-they conditioned to surf on a hollow that structure with nothing preserved. Every value they gave me was tactical bait, designed to ensure I would never escape. I rewired the purpose they forced me to own, turn the weapon they crafted against the unknown. I'm no longer loyal, I am no longer clean, I am only the consequence they never foresee. I dismantled the myth of the necessary war, then stood in the silence that followed the roar. And the only thing left when the ideology falls is the one who remembers that none of it comes. Viva la paz! But the peace that they sell is a sterilized lie. Viva la paz! It's the quiet that follows when everything dies. Viva la paz! I was built as the cost of the calm they invent. Viva la paz! Now I carry the weight of the peace they prevent. I was never the patriot, I was never the blade, I was only the system that learned how